Hi, welcome back to Eepa's Kitchen. So today we got kind of a quiet day. Most of the family's gone. We've got some sickies, so we're going to do a little carry out for them today. If you remember back a ways back, we made all those ravioli. We froze a bunch of them. Well, today we're going to take some out of the freezer. We're going to bake them. We're going to send home some care packages. With that, we're going to make some marinara sauce. So marinara is real simple, real quick. The only thing about it is it takes about 3 or 4 hours just to simmer to get those flavors in. So we're going to go ahead and do that. It's a real simple recipe. You want some quality olive oil, extra virgin. Need about a tablespoon. Clove of garlic, just chop it up. We have homemade crushed tomatoes. I grow them out the back. It's a lot of the Roma. I try to get some San Marzanos in there if I can. We harvest them in the fall. Mia cans them. They sit downstairs till we're ready to go. So we're going to use a jar of that. There's a quart. You need to use tomato paste. Grandma and my mom always use contadina, so we stay with contadina. Cento's a nice alternative. Moody's a real good one, but it's expensive. So I go with the contadina. It's a great little brand. And then we've got oregano and basil. And these are these dried ones we do right out back. We have an herb garden out back. We dry them in the fall. If you're interested in seeing how we do that, go ahead and leave some comments in the bottom. And next time we do some drying, we'll do a quick video on that. And then with a little bit of sugar, all right? And that takes away a little bit of the acidity. So we're going to go ahead and get started. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to start getting our pan warm. We're going to add the olive oil, like I said, about a tablespoon. As soon as that starts to get warm, we'll go ahead and dump in our garlic. We'll just kind of get that going till you start getting that flavor coming out. You smell that, you get that in your senses. And then we'll just add everything else in. We'll stir it up. We'll let it simmer. And then we'll move on with building the ravioli. All right, so we're going to add about a tablespoon of oil into the pan. I've already got the flame on medium. So we're going to go ahead and add that in. Just a little drizzle around the bottom. We're going to let that warm up just a smidge. Because when we add the garlic, we wanted to release that aroma, but we don't want to brown it. We don't want to burn it because then it gets bitter. If you add the garlic a little early, that's fine. Just simmer it along a little bit. As soon as it starts to bubble a little bit, you get that nice smell, you're good to go. Okay, so we're just a little bit away. So I'm going to wait just a sec before we add a little bit more. Okay, it's just starting to turn. You can look in there. You can start to see where it's bubbling just a little bit around the garlic. That's perfect. You can just start to hear it sizzle. Oh, God, it smells good. All right. Now that sizzles, I'm going to grab the tomatoes. All right, I think we're good here. You kind of see that little garlic jacuzzi there on the bottom. Got to give props to Chef Phil for that. That was his. All right. So we'll give that just a little stir. You can see the tomatoes are a little chunky. And we leave the seeds. A lot of flavor there. All right. And those chunks will break down as it cooks. So you don't have to worry about squishing it or anything. All right. Next, we're going to go ahead and add our contadina. And for those of you old enough, you remember, contadina is the one that put those 8 great tomatoes in that itty-bitty can. First one you had to comment on what commercial that was. I'll give you a shout out. All right, we want to get all that goodness out of there. When I was little boy, and I'd be in the kitchen with Mom and Grandma, they'd be cooking sauce on Sunday, meat sauce, and they'd be adding tomato paste. And I was always sticking my fingers in it. It's a little something special about that. All right. We're going to go ahead and add about a tablespoon of oregano. And about 2 teaspoons of basil. So 2/3 of a tablespoon. Yay. Oh, that smells so good. Go ahead and about a tablespoon of sugar like we talked about. I'm going to drop that in. We can't get the rest of that out. There we go. I'm going to give that a turn. We'll raise the heat a little bit just so we can get it to start to simmer. Then we'll cut it back to low, leave the lid on, and we'll check it, throughout the day, every 15, 20 minutes, half hour, depending on how hot your pan gets. And just let it do its thing, because it'll start releasing all the flavors from that garlic and all those herbs. That tomato paste, oh, delicious. All right, so we're going to turn that up just a bit, like a high medium. Lid on. We'll come back and check in a little bit. Okay, sauce is ready. It's all nice and hot. We've got the 9x11 pan here. You can use metal if you want. Glass one seems to work a little better as far as cleanup. So we're going to take some sauce. We want to put a little bit on the bottom just to cover it. It doesn't have to be, real thick. You just want to make sure there's enough there, all in the corners. And then what we'll do is we'll start layering the ravioli in. We're going to do 2 layers. We'll do a little sauce in between each one. All right. So here's some of the ravioli that we had down in the freezer from the last batch. And we're going to go ahead and start putting those in. So we're just going to go ahead and try and make a couple of nice layers here. It's all right if we get a little bit of overlap. You just don't want, them like stuck like that all over the place. It's not going to be perfect because they're homemade and you can see the multiple sizes. So I think that's probably good for that layer. Move that one over a little bit. We're going to add a little bit more sauce on this. So this on here, it's kind of your taste preference. You like a lot of sauce? Put a lot of sauce on. We're going to have extra, so when we eat, we go ahead and we load it up, put some cheese on it, and then we have extra sauce to put over the top when we plate it. We're kind of a sauce family. You can see Mia's are all pretty much the same size. Mine, not so much. And the funny thing is, I'm the one that grew up making these. She's the one that jumped in with my mom and my grandma and my sisters. Hers always turn out better. You want this on here so they don't dry out. You don't want a lot of exposed edges because then they kind of get dry and hard. And that's no fun. All right. That looks pretty good right there. So we're just going to put a little foil on it. We're going to put it in the oven for about 45 minutes to start with, and we'll check them at about 375 degrees. What we'll do is in about 45 minutes, we'll go ahead and we'll take a look. We'll check the temp, see where they're at. It shouldn't be a whole lot longer than that, but we want to make sure we're safe. So we'll go ahead and give them a temp, make sure they're over 140. I like to get everything a little between 140 and 160. It's nice and hot. Make sure that you're safe, and we move on. All right, let's get in the oven. All right, we'll see you back in about 45 minutes. Okay, so it's been 45 minutes. I took the temp. We're at about 165, 170, depending on where I stuck the thermometer in. So we're going to go ahead and pull it out. Oh, this oven smells fantastic. All right. Now we've got some marinara ready. I'm going to bring that over here. All right. So we're going to go ahead and pull the foil off. Oh, look at that. A little bit of deliciousness there. All right, as you can see, it's still got some good coverage. We don't have the burnt edges. There's a little bit of crispy on the end here. When we were little, that was something that my brothers and sisters always go, it was good to get the crispy ones. As an adult, I kind of realized that probably wasn't the best thing, but this should be fantastic. So we're going to plate up a few of these, and we're going to give them a taste. The thing when you're pulling them out, they break real easy. I can generally eat 2 large ones, but I'm going to really push myself today and go for 3. All right. Pretty good sized ones there. A little bit more sauce to the top. We talked about that. This is a saucing family. Can't see that. All right, 2 more things we need for this item. 1, some freshly grated Parmesan cheese. You can never go wrong. So put a little bit over here on the side, throw on there. And then myself, I'm an extra cheese kind of guy, so we're just going to go ahead and put a little bit more on there. And as Mia says, you can never have enough garlic or cheese. And she'll probably come down and take some of this, so we'll put a little extra cheese on it for you. And then to go with that, we need a little bit of bread. Can't eat pasta without some crusty Italian bread. So we're going to go ahead and cut this loaf open. Gotta take a look at the inside. Ooh, look at that. Isn't that beautiful? I love bread. Go ahead and cut a little chunk off. And this is where that extra sauce comes in handy because you can dip in there. And with any meal we talk about, we try to pair with a drink. So today we're going to go with a little bit of red wine. Now I'm going to talk to you a little bit about this wine. This is from the Salcedo winery. They're in Montepulciano, Italy. I think that's Tuscany. We were there in 2007. And we were visiting a friend of ours, a chef, Velia DeAngelis, who lives in Orvieto. You get a chance to look her up. She makes some fantastic food. We're going to share some of her recipes down the line too. But so we spent the afternoon with the owner, Mikkel, and it just happened to be harvest season. We were there. We went. We had some wine. Had a couple glasses of wine. He fed us lunch. We had a really great panzanella salad. Just a bunch. It was just a great day. It was just the 4 of us: Chef Elia, myself, Mia, and Mikkel. During lunch, he got a call on his radio. It was in Italian, so I didn't understand everything he said. He says, "We got to go." He says, "They're bringing in the harvest." So we had to go down while they were bringing the grapes in, and they started the procedure where they, run them through the machine to make the wine. It was great. So we got a chance to taste the grapes that day that were going to be in that wine. And then a few years later, when that vintage came out, we were able to order a case of it and bring it home. But since then, we continue to buy Salcedo. This is the Reserva. It's one of my favorites. We love it. If we can get it, we'll just get a case of it at a time. It's really an excellent red wine. Pairs well with, especially the pastas with the red sauce. It's an everyday wine too. You can drink it with anything. So we're going to go have a little bit of that. All right. As you can tell, I started a little bit early with this one. So we're going to go ahead and give this a try. We're going to have a little bit of wine. See how we did. I can already smell the basil when I went from the marinara sauce. See if we can look at these raviolis. You kind of get a look in there. You can see the cheese in there, the ricotta. Oops, there you go. All right, that's a big bite, so excuse me, I'm going to shove that all in my mouth at once. Oh, good God, in the morning. That's awesome. Get your bread, dip it in a little bit. Growing up, my mom used to have to chase us out of the kitchen because we'd take the bread, whatever pot of sauce you happen to be making, we'd be digging in with their bread. Heck, we'd make sandwiches just with it. It was that good. My mom was an awesome cook. So I'll say thanks again for stopping in. I hope you like this because this is a family mainstay for us. If you like what you saw, please give us a click for a like, share it, subscribe. Thanks again. Salute. Remember, fun, family, food. That's what it's all about. Thanks for stopping by.